about all my podcasts, to be completely honest with you.
Let's roll.
Just about all my podcasts, to be completely honest with you.
Let's roll.
Gun safety.
Y'all guys having fun with my fucking gun?
Nah.
Do you want to have fun with my gun later?
No, of course I do.
Okay, cool.
Right now, actually.
Yeah. Well, we're rolling now, so all this is going to be put on the internet. She's gay, guys. She's gay.
Maybe.
She's here.
We don't know.
She's queer. Get used to it.
Alright, well, we're back, and it's episode Big 3-0. We finally made it. It took me 2
No
years.
way.
But we
Billy's
got to,
age.
Yeah, we got to the Big 3-0.
Dirty
No.
30, huh?
No.
Dirty 30.
Let's not do that. Fucking, I'm not quite 30. I turned 28 on Wednesday. So...
Happy
we're
belated, brother.
Thank you, man.
For
Thank
sure.
you. We're having a little soiree out there. So there's a couple people out in my living room. If it gets caught up on the microphone, that's what you're hearing. Got a couple people out there bullshitting out there. But yeah, episode 30 of Your House Our Rules. And I want to give an introduction. These are two people that I have talked about, had multiple stories with on the podcast. Two of my closest friends. We got Sam Jackson. And
What's up, guys?
Bailey Earnhardt, also known as Redline, which you might have heard me refer to her as because she's a big DJ in the community and stuff like that, doing some really cool things out there. But if you guys want to introduce yourself real quick and fucking put some shit out there that people might not know, that'd be cool.
Ladies first.
All right. I'm Bailey. I am also Redline. I've been a firefighter for 6 years. Just quit. Now I'm a construction worker. Living up to the lesbian name.
In a flannel and boots every day. Backwards cap repping all the time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so we got Bailey. She does her DJ shit. She also does a lot of things for, like, the community, trying to put on some shows and stuff like that. We might actually go out to Legends tonight and just check it
Hell
out
yeah.
and see what we can do.
Yep,
Trying
me
to
too.
bring a little bit of shit to the west side. But we also got this fuck right here.
What's up, guys? My name is Sam Jackson. I am a welder by trade. I armor up vehicles, basically. I am also an artist. I draw, and I am currently just trying to get more work out on my portfolio so that I can potentially do something with it. Kind of wanted to go into tattooing. Might try to go into graphic design. We'll see.
Yep.
But
I gotta get you hooked up with those fucking Illustrator and fucking shit like that.
We'll see, man.
I got you on the
Yeah,
hookup.
his art's insane.
college never really worked out for me, and I did I did try to do graphic design at UC Blue Ash, and it didn't really work out. But my professor said I was the most illustrious in my class on Illustrator, but it wouldn't fucking mean shit if I didn't pull up my grades in my other classes.
Yeah.
And naturally,
Yeah, man. You know what? Fucking don't even sweat that, homie. Like, I've got a college degree in audio video production, and like we had to have like graphic design classes as well.
Yeah.
I remember Andre, who's been on the podcast as well. Smiles. He was on talking to me privately, like. Yo, so I'm getting out of the military. I'm thinking about going to school for like what you did, audio video production, and like they all kind of coincide. That and web design, graphic
right.
design.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I was
it's
like, homie,
electronic communications, right?
well, if you're going into like UC's electronic media, that's what they're all kind of fucking incorporated into. But yeah,
Right.
that it's actually a bachelor's of fine arts that I have. So
Yeah,
They
because
are-
you fine.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. But I told him straight up when he was trying to get into that, I was like, homie, I was like, you need to understand that this entire community is all about who you know. Fucking, you're just gonna waste money on that
Networking's
shit.
huge, absolutely.
Fucking YouTube can teach you anything. So
And it's something I've accepted that, just and college especially is not for everybody. I found way more use out of going to trade school. But
Oh, yeah.
you know,
I don't have a degree.
I didn't give up on my dreams. That's just it'll take a little while longer and
Yeah.
I'm with it all the way.
Just got to make the connections. You're out there doing the damn thing, bro.
That's
I
all you gotta
fucking see
do.
it. You got talent, and you're gonna go places. We're all going places. God damn it.
Hell yeah,
Somewhere.
bro.
Fuck yeah! I'm trying to get fucking rich and act like I don't know anybody.
I'm trying to go to Japan and see some anime titties.
Anime
Wait, what?
Anime titties are the best. But yeah, let's go ahead and start getting popping into the fucking show. So Bailey sent us this podcast, and I'm gonna let her kind of introduce this topic a little bit. But it was what was the podcast name?
It's called Speak the Truth, and
Yeah.
it's a ex-army sniper, and he started it because of how the media doesn't portray things how they actually are, and if it's opinionated, he states it in that podcast that is his opinion.
Notice
But
that. I really like that about him.
Yeah,
He
that's why I
doesn't
started
bullshit.
watching it. He doesn't care what he says, and he's being an ex-army sniper, you would think that he leans more right, but he talks about it. He's like, no, I'm kind of in the middle, and I speak what is the truth.
I think everyone likes to fucking identify themselves as a moderate, but I mean,
You're
from what
not
I
wrong.
heard, and granted, I only listened to like that 30-minute podcast. That's all I've heard from
Yeah.
him. That you gave it. He
He
leans
did
right.
sound a little.
He
Well,
leans right.
like
Yeah.
he was when he started it, he was like, I didn't vote for Trump or whoever who cares who you voted for, but he's
Right.
like, I didn't vote for Trump in the election that he won. He's like, I voted for Obama. So, but a lot of the things he says lean both ways. He just tells it how it is.
I mean, us being from the west side of Cincinnati, not necessarily you, but, well, I'm from the west side of Cincinnati. Cincinnati is kind of like a slightly right-leaning. The west side, you get a little bit more. It's
Still
hard.
in the greater Cincinnati area.
Yeah,
See, I'm from in the middle of nowhere,
it's,
though.
It's hard not to fucking lean right when you fucking have the amount of fucking Republican fucking bullshit that comes on. But he was talking about, the one thing that you wanted to fucking really touch on for this podcast was, he was talking about the NFL, like, basically backing the, like, defunding the police and stuff.
And abolishment. Full
it was
abolishment.
full prison abolishment, where he was saying that the NFL, I don't know the exact amount of money, but they're funding these corporations and stuff of just prison abolishment in general. And it, you can have your opinion on it and whatever, but if something goes wrong, if say you get robbed, say your car gets broken into, who do you call? Doesn't matter where you it doesn't matter where you stand. You can hate the police all you want. And I'm not saying there's not bad people in the police force, but there's bad people everywhere.
Yeah.
But if anything goes wrong, you call the police.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something that, I mean, any fucking person in their right mind sees the fucking value of having police. It definitely is something that the infrastructure that they have might need some change.
Yes,
and they might
yes.
need drastic change in other areas. But when it comes down to it, fucking defunding the entire police is not a very good idea. And when you see something as powerful as like the NFL, which is the largest sporting fucking event in the United States, fucking backing these things, it's like, well, this is going to get more people on it, and it might not necessarily have the impact that you want it to, or a fucking positive impact.
Yeah, it's all about money.
Yeah, it's all about money, and that's what it comes down to. But at the same time, it is key to say that, like, as much as it is bad, the whole defunding the police thing comes around with, like, the Black Lives Matter. And when it comes down to it, like, 70% of the athletes in the NFL are of fucking black heritage. And that might be one of the reasons why they're a little bit more willing to start backing that shit. And it's one of those things where it is new. We're going to have to see how it pans out and what happens, but I don't necessarily see an issue with taking steps to better the police force that we have. But when it comes down to it, it sounds like they're like just straight up backing these companies and stuff that are just trying to completely defund it.
Yeah, they're trying to defund it completely, and then like abolishing the prison system where, like, even now, if you do something that's not like a felony, you go to jail and you're out the next day with no bail.
Yeah.
So like, it's just holding people accountable for
It's dependent.
things that they did that are wrong, but it's like they're too afraid to actually punish the people that are doing things that are bad.
Yeah.
And it's all because of people saying that police are bad people and everything like that.
Yeah, there are some police that are bad people. Hitting on the whole prison thing, I didn't even hear that in the podcast. I was like trimming my shit when I was listening
He
to it.
kind of glossed over it. It was
yeah,
kind of implied within the whole thing.
He said it, but he.
But the prison system is definitely something that needs a lot of change.
And I agree.
It's completely. It's fucked. I mean, the things that fucking they do to our black community, like planting drugs and like fueling the fucking prison systems with that is.
And the privatized prisons is the worst of it.
Yeah, and the fact that we
corporately
have,
owned.
It's money. It's all money.
Yeah, and it's all money. And the thing about it, like the whole idea of private prisons to me has always been fucking just the wildest idea. Like that should be something that's sanctioned by a fucking government entity, not something that's privately owned by one person that can make the fucking rules and shit like that.
Well, and like if you have money, like say a celebrity goes to prison for doing something that's really bad, they get treated better in prison. And we all know that.
And that's the
and
problem
that
with
sucks.
That's the problem with our prison system as well. If you're like a white male, I know fucking straight up, like if I get pulled over by a cop or something like that, like I'm gonna have a lot easier time than if I was like Max. Like I've seen all that shit happen fucking right in front of my eyes where we're like fucking get pulled over by a cop and they'll fucking walk up with a fucking their hand on their pistol with an unholstered pistol and shit like that. And it's like
that's fucked.
When we see shit like that, it's like there's definitely skewing towards one side, and like it's something that we need equality, and we are constantly building towards equality. I genuinely believe that. It's only been like 70 years since the civil rights movement, and like black people have actually gotten the freedoms that they deserve.
Yeah.
And like that's on the scale of history that we've had, even in the United States, not necessarily even in the entire world. Like on the scale of things, like those are large steps that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see it in our everyday society. Like when I was a kid, like even something like being gay, like it was demonized back when I was a kid.
Hell yeah.
And
I mean,
like,
even like my parents, when I came out, they were like, it was bad for me, but then they were like, we're worried about how other people are going to treat you. And I said, in your generation, that's how it was, and I understand that. But now that's not how it is anymore. Like there's very rare times where I've ever had someone actually be discriminative towards me for being gay. And I was on the fire department, so I was in an all male dominated pretty much job, and they didn't give a fuck what I was. No. If I could do the job, I did the fucking job.
Yeah, we definitely are seeing a lot of changes in the younger generation. I have hope. I think one of the things that's going on with it, though, is a lot of the people who are in power are from older generation that just really do not understand
it is dying
what
out.
Life really is.
Sure, and you think about it really, but segregation was not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. You know, like there are still people alive from those times that just haven't changed the way they think, and they pass that down to their children. It's I firmly believe that homophobia, racism, all that, it's not, you're not born with it. You're raised with those beliefs.
You're taught that belief.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
And with 2020 coming out and everything that happened last year, we've seen a lot of corporations and businesses realign their interest to basically continue thriving during these times.
To continue fucking making money.
Whether they actually align with these interests or not, but like bringing it back to the NFL, they are 100% definitely guilty of that. They've gone out and said
with Colin Kaepernick.
Absolutely.
Like with
oh my
all
God,
that.
dude. My dad, he straight up boycotted the NFL.
So did my parents. They were like, we're not doing this anymore, and I was like, why? Like this does nothing to help you. Like they're doing it because, like, yes, some people in the NFL align with what they're doing, but they're doing it for the money, and that sucks. They shouldn't be doing it for the money. But like how like Kaepernick with Nike in the Speak the Truth podcast, he was saying, he was like, they didn't give a fuck about what actually was going on. They didn't care that he was doing that, but they knew that they had people that aligned with what he was doing. And so they went along with it, and it was all to make money from it. And it's like the documentary that Keith wanted to bring up in this podcast.
The Bleeding Edge.
Yeah, it's that it goes along with medical supplies.
Yeah.
And how they don't care about how it's made, or if it even passes the CDC's guidelines correctly.
So I'm just gonna break in here real quick. So if you haven't, go ahead and check out The Bleeding Edge on Netflix. It is a documentary that it's about an hour and a half long that really like describes some of the things that are going on with like not necessarily the medical field, like vaccines and stuff like that, but the medical hardwares that are getting released. And so what was going on was these corporations that are making large amounts of money off the hardware that they are selling to like fucking hip replacements, or it was called YHOR, right?
Yeah, YHOR. It's a birth control.
Yeah, the
birth control. They're also talking about prosthetics.
Yeah.
What the prosthetics themselves were made out of.
And they even had that machine where it's like rather than having like a scalpel, like an actual using your hands and stuff like that, it was a machine that you
the robot welder, the Da Vinci.
Yeah. That could do that. But the point of the matter was that these corporations were having
robot surgeons.
Yeah. The point was that they had these hardwares that they're releasing, these large corporations are that are making money, and because of all the guidelines that they had to follow in order to get these on the market, they came up with this thing that was called the 501k, which is a process that if
510K.
510k.
Yeah, you were doing 401k.
510k. You're right.
You caught my bullshit now.
Thank you for catching me on that one. But it's called the 510k, which is this process that essentially says that, like, if we have, like, that what they did was the hip replacement. If they have something that's a hip replacement and they release a new type of hip replacement, as long as it's close enough to the previous fucking hip replacement that they had, then they don't have to go through near as many guidelines. Well, when you look at that, and it creates like the spider webbing effect where, like, you do it once and then the fucking second one matches a little bit less, the third one matches a little bit less. Next thing you know, fucking 5 times down the line, it's vastly different than what they had before.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things now where, like, if you looked at the 70s, what the FDA had to do to get approved some of this hardware, it was like, well, they only had the one process, but now that the 510k has come out, in the past, like, 5-6 years or whatever, like 95% of the hardware that is coming out is going through that process, and it's like a really bad thing. And these companies are making a lot of money.
Well, it's a really bad thing because it doesn't matter if the thing the thing that started it all, the thing that started the whole hip replacement, it doesn't matter if that has been recalled. They can go off of that and still get approved because that has already been approved.
Yeah.
The recall doesn't matter. So they can take anything and just go off of it. And it doesn't matter if you change just a tiny thing in it, it's still not a good medical device.
Yeah, and they were talking some things like the hip replacement and stuff. I think because they had that one guy who was featured on it who had a cobalt hip replacement. So
it was a metal ball on a metal joint.
Yeah,
so,
but it was made out of cobalt.
Yeah, they have multiple different ones, but they had cobalt, and the thing about it was made out of a new metal, but it matched closely enough to the fucking previous one that they allowed it to do. But the thing was that this cobalt was, like, leaking off into their system and stuff like that, and they were getting cobalt poisoning.
It was liquefying in their hip.
Yeah, it was like liquefying the inside of the joint or something like that and spreading out, and they ended up getting cobalt poisoning, which is similar to, like, mercury poisoning, where, like, people were having, like, straight up hallucinations.
It was affecting them on a neurological kind of level.
It was like they had Alzheimer's, but they don't. It's just the poison that's in their system.
In fact,
and
a lot of
doctors weren't checking it.
A lot of people who were on that documentary thought they had dementia or Alzheimer's, and they didn't know where to go. They just completely wrote it off as it was completely something else.
That's
dangerous.
They got really lucky because the guy who was the main point of that dude with the hip replacement, he was an actual doctor.
Yeah, he was a surgeon. He did it.
So he realized when the stuff was happening, he's like, hey, you know what? I had this hip replacement. That's when everything started changing. He looked into it. I got cobalt poisoning. This shit needs to come off the market. And the thing about it is, these corporations are actively trying to silence these people and continue to fucking do the things.
Yeah, well, like the YHOR thing.
The YHOR was the big center.
It was during their clinical trials, right?
They didn't have the correct clinical trials for it, and so, like, the YHOR thing, they had the spokesperson that they paid. She got the birth control. It was a thing that would sterilize women, basically. It was a metal spring, basically, that they would put inside of the fallopian tubes.
Had like a metal coil.
Yeah, it had a coil in it.
It was a coil. It's just a spring.
Yeah, it's just a spring where it aggravated the inside of the fallopian tube where it would close it.
Well, it would expand.
And it caused an inflammatory response.
It caused an inflammatory response
But the thing about it was when they put it up, it would fit into the fallopian tube, and then when they would get it up there, they would fucking make the spring expand, and it would when it would expand, it would fucking irritate the skin,
it would irritate
and it would close around it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it would cause it to scar.
So it just caused a bunch of scar tissue, so you couldn't obviously get your eggs to drop. That's how it was sterilized women. But they didn't do the correct testing on it to where the spokesperson, she was one of the first people to get it, and when she got it, she was fine for a little bit, and then when it went on, she kept having really bad bleeding, and she was like, "Why am I having this?"
You touched on that, and I'm glad you touched on it. The one thing that really was like fucking absolutely insane about that thing was they have these Facebook groups that are getting set up by these women that are having all these issues, and they all have the fucking e-shirt, and they're doing this thing. And the spokeswoman, who was the one who initially fucking got it and was like putting it out to like commercially to the people and stuff like that, she had seen all these emails where people were like emailing her about it, like, we're having this problem. And it wasn't until someone asked, I just want to know if you're okay.
Yeah, what your medical
clicked.
what your symptoms are. How do you feel after having this? And the thing that got me about that too is they would have these panels where they would be like, hey, how do you feel with this in? Good, great, excellent, whatever, like a rating system for it. And to put it on like a commercial, they would have like 99% of women said that they've had excellent results for this product. But she said that she's noticed that the people they'd be like, all right, so do you have any pain with this? And they're like, well, I have a pain in my abdomen, but I don't know what it's from.
But is it preventing you from getting
pregnant? But are you getting pregnant? And they're like, no. They're like, well, it's doing its job then. Yeah. And they're like, well, I guess. Like,
you're right. Just quick side note with that too. They proved that it was like 6 times less reliable than other pregnancy preventions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in pregnancy prevention in general is horrible. Like I have been with women that have been on the pill, and being on the pill, if they miss one day, they're insane. And it's not because they're actually like crazy. It just fucks with your hormones so much that it just is horrible. Yeah. That's why, I mean, I'm a lesbian and I don't need to go on the pill, but the pill doesn't just help with pregnancy prevention. It helps with other things like periods and stuff like that.
She's lying. We be fucking on.
Red wings.
But like it just fucks with everything, and I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy little thing. The one thing that I really got with it, bringing it back around a little bit, was they were testing them, and they were asking them these questions, and all of them were geared towards just the pregnancy prevention, not what that was happening, actually happening.
Yeah.
The real crazy thing that I saw about it was they were actively changing the fucking notes and stuff.
Yes.
Like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just crossing it off.
Yeah, they were crossing it out
and put different answers like that they did not. The women actually did not say.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
If you, I highly recommend that you watch the documentary because it can explain it a lot better than we can. But it's some absolute fuck shit.
I think. I think the biggest thing though that just blew my mind out of it was the fact that after all these women had gotten this birth control protection, E-Sure, all the doctors and stuff, like, they were only followed up on for maybe like 4 months, and this is a permanent procedure.
Yes, these women have been dealing with this for years.
Exactly. That's the part that completely is just...
And it's irreversible on a lot of accounts.
Exactly.
Some of them they can go... But when you're putting a fucking coil into someone's fallopian tube and it fucking makes all the skin swell around it to fucking close it all up.
Yeah, it scars. You can't get it out.
Yeah, you can, but the thing about it was it breaks off, and then you're just picking fucking little bits of metal out of a swollen fucking thing. So,
well, and then...
the guy got
you can't get it out.
Like the guy got his dick cut up when he was trying to fuck his wife.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Man.
Well, that was for the mesh, but they also they were talking about in the documentary how the doctors were trained to put it in, and if they say it misfired when they put it in, they would just put another one in. Yeah. So they just had these fragments of metal and coil in their uterus and stuff.
Some women with like 6 to 8 fucking
that's crazy to me, because why wouldn't a doctor, like, a lot of doctors are great, but why wouldn't a doctor be like, I probably should take that out of that woman's body?
The one dude said it. He was like, most doctors are looking out for your well-being, but there's other ones.
Yeah, that is just a huge malpractice thing, and it just...
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I've always told people, because, some people come up to me and they're talking about, like, their depression or something like that, and they're talking about how their doctor is prescribing this and prescribing them that and stuff like that, and I'm like... They're like, well, my doctor said it was okay, so it's okay. Look, at the end of the day, doctors are humans. They're fucking fallible. They're able to make mistakes. And at the same time, we live in the United States of America, which heavily profits off fucking some of the hardware and fucking shit that is going on.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing that I noticed with it that we can relate to today's, because it's a documentary from 2018. But Johnson & Johnson was the one that did the mesh, correct?
The vaginal
Yep.
mesh,
Yes.
yeah.
So they were the ones who were responsible for that, and like they have fucking video evidence or like video interviews of them going through like their trials and stuff like that, where they're like joking about
Yeah.
fucking how it's fucking people up and shit like
Yep.
that.
They
And
s-
now you look into fucking today's society where we have the coronavirus, and Johnson & Johnson is one of the bigger fucking vaccines that
Yep.
we're getting for it. It's like, how reliable are these
Well,
people?
did you would go into, if you want to take it to corona vaccines and stuff like that, the companies that came out with that profited so much. Their stocks flew through the
Yeah,
roof.
fucking Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson
Yeah.
are in the top 10 best-selling stocks.
They flew through the roof. And like going to the vaginal mesh thing, in the documentary, it said that to make the actual vaginal mesh, which is it's actually a hernia mesh. It helps with hernias, but they were like, all right, well, I think this could help. What a vaginal mesh does, it helps women that have had babies.
Isn't it for like prolapsed vaginas?
Yeah,
and
it,
stuff like
it, it helps them. So like a lot of people that have that have babies, when they sneeze, they pee.
Yeah.
Or when they stand up too fast, they pee. And that's because, I mean, there's a lot of shit that
You
goes
just
on down there
shoved
when
a
you have a
fucking human
baby.
through your goddamn
Yeah,
head.
like, so, but it costs $24 for them to make it. And they sell it for $2,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's all about profit. I feel like this podcast is all about me saying it's all about fucking money, because it is,
money
and it
rules the
when we're
world.
down
sucks.
to this topic at hand, that is what it's all about.
basically
Like,
the premise.
everything is profit.
Yeah.
You look at the United States, you know we're the only country in the entire world that actively fucking commercializes like antidepressants and stuff like that. You go to the United Kingdom, you go to Canada, you go to Mexico, they don't have advertisements for like fucking Xanax and fucking
Right.
Lorazepam and stuff like that. Over here, they actively try and sell that shit. My grandpa, who just passed away fucking a while ago, was on all kinds of medication and shit like that. He's an old man. He don't necessarily know what's going on. He was a little bit out of his mind at the end of his days. He would see these commercials, and he would go up to my mom, who was caring for him when he was in hospice at their house, and be like, I need to get this. This is what's happening to me. And my mom was like,
Yeah.
Dad, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah,
it's not okay.
Well, and that's a lot of the vaccine for coronavirus and stuff. They're like people. Well, I'm vaccinated, and people are like my parents and other people are like, well, you don't know what's going to happen in like 10 years. Well, I have an extra tendon that they put into my knee, and I was the second person to ever have it done. Mm-hmm. Who knows what my knee's going to do in fucking 5 years.
Yeah, and I'm not...
If it helps you at that's how our society is, though. If it helps you at this time, you're going to do it.
So, yeah, I'm not against medical advancement or anything like that. I think that these are things that need to happen. We need to have more precautions to do it.
There needs to be stricter criteria when approving these kind of devices and medicines at the FDA board, because that meeting you were talking about with Johnson & Johnson on the mesh, that was their FDA approval, and those council members were all basically profiting off this in some way.
Yeah.
One of them was practically she was married to the CEO of Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah,
she was invested in their stock.
They were, she was invested into the stock, but they were asking all these questions, and the people that came, Johnson & Johnson, who were representing them, couldn't answer the questions about it. Mm-hmm. They couldn't answer any of the questions that they were asking, and they didn't care. They were just like, okay, well, it passed it, so I guess it's good.
Yeah.
And then they started
no actual proof.
At the end of it, they said what he's saying, how they were joking. They said, well, in 10 years, if they come at us for malpractice, they're going to get us all into a room and interview all of us and ask why we passed this.
And
then they all laughed.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
That's terrible.
But
terrible.
they have the power to do it.
They have the power to do it.
So I'm just going to go back to that and expand on that a little bit more, because when I was watching that last night, that's immediately what I thought of. Because a big thing I was waiting on with the vaccines was FDA approval, and look how fast we got it.
Yeah.
If that's the process that it takes for some of these,
That's what I
some of the
was
stuff
talking
to
about
get
before.
approved,
Yeah.
then how good are they really, effectively, or just for our better good?
Hey, it's
When
fine.
we-
I'm gonna be able to get compensation. It's fine. I'll be on those commercials. You may be eligible for compensation.
Be careful with that. But yeah, it's one of those things where like fucking we're advancing so fast, and like as a society, we really are genuinely like intuitive fucking creatures, and like we are trying to advance and advance and advance, and we do really need to fucking take a little bit more time into like the deliberations and stuff that we have in order to make sure that these things are okay.
Absolutely.
And that kind of
Yeah.
breaks into like the things that we were going to talk to with like the metaverse on Facebook and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's a lot of issues things that people are having with the metaverse is like we're going a little bit too quick here. And there's a lot of people who are raising fucking red flags and stuff with it, but if you ask me, I've looked at it, I think that the metaverse is an inherently good thing.
It's
yeah.
cool, but
a
like
wild concept.
somebody bought a fake yacht in the metaverse for like, what was it, 650
Pretty sure that was
grand?
a real yacht.
No, it was in the metaverse.
Was it an NFT?
Well,
I don't know if it was an NFT,
Yeah.
but it was
It was an NFT.
I don't know. I don't know what
650.
she's talking about. I'm not sure if the metaverse is necessarily like Meta is. So, from what my understanding is, because the whole metaverse and fucking Meta and stuff, it's a little confusing when you look into it. From what I understand is Facebook is still Facebook. We're still going to have the social media or whatever, but the entire corporation that was Facebook has become Meta, and Facebook is now like a fucking subgenre of it.
Well, the metaverse is all through the Oculus, like all through virtual reality.
It will be. It is
Yeah,
not
it's
there
not yet.
It's not ready yet. But there are a lot of websites and games already operating on this quote-unquote metaverse. I don't think Facebook has actually implemented what they want to do yet, but there are already stuff that are...
Back off the mic a little bit.
Oh, there's already websites and stuff that are already on it. Like, for example, gamers and artists are about to become pretty rich if they actually get into the metaverse
If
and
they can
NFTs.
figure- if they can figure out how to do it
NFTs
right.
are crazy.
Absolutely. And if they can figure it out, then, dude, some of these NFTs selling online for the metaverse is just
I
ungodly.
saw this TikTok, which there was this girl. She was like, "I want to make an NFT," and you can get on this website and make an NFT. And she went into some app where she can draw and stuff like that, and made this NFT where it was googly eyes with big ass lips. And she was like, "I'm gonna see how much I can sell it for." She only sold it for like $200, but still, she went on and she was like, "It took me like barely any time to do it."
Yeah.
And sold an NFT. I'm like, how? Like, that's crazy to me. How is this actual like, I don't know, like, it's not tangible, like, I don't know how to explain it.
Well,
But-
I think a lot of the things that we're getting into, like the NFTs and stuff that are selling for as much, I think it's because it's one of those fucking, like, this is the infancy of it. And because it is the infancy, there are so many people who don't necessarily have access to the technology that because they're so fucking new to it, they're going to make a lot more. I think the whole idea of Meta being the Meta is that it is going to move towards a globalized fucking thing where everyone can do it.
Dude,
Yeah.
And it's basically just, from what I see of the metaverse, is it's basically the social media that we have now, just with a virtual reality and an avatar behind it where we can actually interact with people through our fucking Oculus around the world and stuff like that.
Imagine,
and people are concerned about the security and stuff that we're having, but we're already having those fucking issues
Yeah,
with social
your
media.
phone's always your phone's always listening to you.
Always watching
Everybody's watching.
Always looking at what you're looking at.
But what's crazy to me is I was watching a podcast and they were talking about how the Neuralink from Elon Musk is in the works, just like
And they're supposed
Metaverse
to be
is,
released at
and
the
they're
same
supposed to
time.
be released around the same time. Imagine having a chip inserted into your brain and feeling like you're actually in
I'm
the
there for
Metaverse.
it.
Well, that's like a Black Mirror fucking
I'm
episode.
there for it.
I'm
Like,
I'm cool with the
that-
I
chips
think-
in my body because
I
that's
think-
kind
To
of
me-
going back
to
to
me,
the
that
bleeding edge a
scares
little
me.
bit with medical devices
That's where
in
I
your
related
body.
to. I mean, that's the thing about it. We may be evolving too fast for our own good.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And that's why people are scared of it. But at the same time, like, I'm looking at this and I really don't see much of a fucking issue with what's going on. I think we're ready for it. We fucking connected it. We already don't have a clue what the fuck we're doing with this social media.
People are already making money off it. Let's put that out.
Well, how I was saying, like, with social media and stuff, when we were kids, like, yes, that's when social media came out. Yeah. And we would, like, MySpace, all this stuff, we were weirdos. And now you have kids that are, like, fucking... 10 years old that know how to do everything on this and know how, like,
so
and it's crazy. Yeah. Like we were like we were like the grandfathers of fucking social media.
For real. Fucking, I tell people all the time, I'm like, I love the fucking generation I lived in. Because, like, I remember what it was like to adjust a fucking antenna on the top of my TV with the analog signal. And I know what it's like to fucking be a part of Facebook and fucking the whole social media thing as it fucking came out.
Well, when Facebook came out, everybody was like, I don't know about Facebook. I don't know how this is going to work. And now, like, I have friends who, to get more space on their phone, upload their pictures and stuff to Facebook and all their memories to Facebook, so they have it forever. But I told them, I was like, well, you did, like, people did that with MySpace, and now you can't get into your MySpace account. Like, I don't really want to get into my MySpace account because it's probably fucked up.
I think you still can't get into your old MySpace account. MySpace definitely geared themselves towards something different, more of like a music
kind
of
thing. Advertising,
but
music,
you can still get into your old thing. That's the thing.
Well, I don't know my password, so maybe that's why I can't get in.
There's a couple, like, episodes of fucking Your House Our Rules that I have on YouTube and stuff like that I have deleted just because I needed, like, space at the time. But I do want to keep everything on, like, a hard drive and stuff like that. But that again goes down with the fucking whole human evolving and stuff like that. I can put it on YouTube, but YouTube might be dead in 10 years.
Yeah.
I can put it on a hard drive, but the fucking access point to fucking put it into your computer might be obsolete in 10 years.
Yeah.
So
it's like the new iPhone chargers where they're all USB-C now. Mm-hmm. I don't have hardly any boxes that are USB-C, but it's or the headphone jack on your phone.
Right.
It's gone.
Right. I think it's just one of those things where, like, we're constantly evolving and we're evolving so fast that we really don't have any other choice but to just kind of fucking...
Technology.
We just have to go with it.
Be at the will of the fucking billionaires that are
which again, it goes back to power and money, dude.
And that's the one thing that I really do see an issue with, like the privacy and stuff like that. Like, I don't see how privacy is going to be any different than fucking what we have today with Facebook. But it's the people who are profiting that much. Like Mark Zuckerberg, a lot of people have issues with him. I don't necessarily have as much issues with him, but I don't think that he should be the one making as much money in this. He says in the Metaverse, in like initiation thing that they do on YouTube, he's like, first and foremost, we're here for the people. Okay, if we're here for the people, then why don't you fucking give 6 of your fucking $7 billion away to fucking the people that you were making this shit
Exactly.
Fucking give it to other fucking avenues and shit like that. I understand having fucking revenue to fucking build the fucking process you want to, but you have way more money.
The thing, then you going in and saying that, if you had that money, you say that you would do that, but to be honest, in reality, if I had that much money, I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
I'd do it.
You worked for that money. Like, even the money that I have, I'll give the shirt off my back to anybody, but like,
I mean, I know it's hard difficult. It's difficult to say those things, but at the end of the day, I genuinely fucking am out here fucking making the moves that I want to, not for myself, but for everyone that's fucking around me. I put myself above all, but at the same time, there are people around me that are building me and molding me into the fucking person that I am, and I want to give back to those. Now,
that is true.
Now, when it comes down to it, fucking, those aren't the people that, like, I'm talking about when it comes to, like, Zuckerberg giving out, because, like, if he was giving out money, it would be to random people. Yeah, I'm not out here trying to give it to random people.
No, that's what I'm saying, is, like, you know Mark Zuckerberg's family is living well.
Yeah.
You know that his friends living well. It doesn't matter if they were wealthy; they are now. They have to be.
Right.
Like say if I won the lottery tomorrow, hell yeah, I'd take all my friends out. I'd do whatever because I have the money and the means to do that now.
Yeah.
But like, say you're a multi-billionaire that like, you know, you're not just gonna like they give some to charity, but to be honest, it's a tax write-off for them.
Yeah, but
like they don't give a fuck about us.
At some point, when you have that much money, when is enough?
Well, that's the issue with money, is that you get that power and you get that
issue with capitalism.
You get that adrenaline rush of having that much money and having that much power over anybody, and you get addicted to it.
Yep.
And it sucks. But that's how the human mind works.
Kind of taking it back to where we were though about the metaverse and stuff. Honestly, imagine Ready Player One. You know, what would it be like if you actually lived in that kind of movie right there?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it on the podcast before.
That'd be fucking cool, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's there's a fine line. There is a potential risk to it. We potentially, in the worst case scenario, we lose our humanity because the generations ahead of us and after us. You've already seen it. Our kids, whatever, our little brothers, sisters, they're so connected with technology around them. And as technology keeps evolving at the rapid rate it is, you're going to see a generation of humans one day fully immersed in virtual reality.
But
that's crazy.
And then at that point, we're not even humans. And I think that now that we've moved past the industrial revolution or moving into more of this social revolution, that we're starting to fucking evolve into something that is not necessarily fucking Homo sapien. It is something that fucking is something else. Mm-hmm. And I'm a proponent of thinking inward and stuff like that because it's no secret that we have fucking global warming and we're fucking doing things to our planet that we need to fucking do things for. And a lot of people are like, oh, we need to think outward. We need to fucking go into fucking the Mars and fucking colonize Mars and shit like that.
So we can fuck that up too?
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense to fucking think inward, fucking find a way to fucking have some sort of virtual reality that we can plug into, and that way we're able to control the fucking simulation that we are in.
Yeah, but if you're talking about that, I mean, like the what is it? Is it ion? Like the batteries and shit. Those are polluting. Like Teslas and stuff. They're like, oh, they're really good for the or for the world and stuff, and for.
I don't think Tesla does that, but I know Prius.
But
they have the batteries that, they have garbage fills in fucking China that you can't live within 10 miles of them.
Yeah, that's another good point.
And that's
what's
gonna happen is like with the metaverse and stuff with virtual reality. That's how are we gonna run this? How are we gonna have the power to run this?
We don't know. We're just freeballing it. We're winging it. It really is. It's crazy, man. Fucking life. But that's just life, man. Fucking, you gotta fucking make decisions. It's a scientific method, man. Fuck around and find out. Yeah. Fucking, we got this technology. We gotta fucking put it out there. We gotta fucking test it out and figure out how the fuck it works. Well, and then some other technology's gonna come along that's gonna make that obsolete, and we're gonna have to figure that shit out too.
What's crazy is how we're all talking about this and how like I'm scared about the metaverse and shit like that and virtual reality. Mm-hmm. And actually like the Neuralink, all that shit. But what's funny is like our grandparents, they didn't have all this. Imagine how they thought when a phone came out where they were like, oh my gosh, I can call somebody that is like, miles away or states away. Like they probably were scared as well.
And we're doing it at like exponentially fucking fast.
Oh yeah.
Like it's crazy just the amount of technology that we've had in the past 100 years
it's
compared to
aliens.
The thousands of years of humanity before it.
It's aliens.
It's definitely
aliens.
I think most adults who aren't with it already, they're just not going to, and they're just going to get disconnected from us evolving technologically as a species. Like my grandma,
have to go along
my
with
grandma still barely knows how to use her phone. She
doesn't
want to.
My grandma doesn't know how to.
She doesn't want to put in the effort to learn either. Yeah. So a full-on virtual reality, that's not going to be existent to their own perception.
That's what we were talking about before with like the whole like boomers fucking running society and eventually they'll move out. Yeah. We're just into a new fucking humanity that they won't understand. Once that all fucking dies out, then we'll have the more fucking advanced people that are willing to and able to fucking deal with the thing.
Yeah.
And then when we get fucking old, our fucking kids will be saying the same shit about us.
Exactly. Well, that's how life is. That's how the world works.
So a lot of people may be wondering, what are the kind of things you can actually do in the metaverse? Well, I've actually done a little bit inside the metaverse. I'm involved in the sandbox, and I play a few different games in the metaverse as well. So basically, games are revolutionizing. They are evolving to play to earn. So where there's a point that you can play games and earn crypto for, advancing, winning, whatever. And it's crazy because a lot of these in-game currencies are tradable on certain exchanges, like crypto exchanges. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it's heading towards. These games are also, they come built in with NFTs. A lot of these games you can make NFTs for and everything, like the Sandbox. The Sandbox is probably the biggest website and game out there in the metaverse right now. Right now, you got companies like Tesla, Atari, you got Snoop Dogg invested in the sandbox
So
right
I
now.
did see that.
Now when you're talking about stuff like that,
Deadmau5 is in it.
Yeah, Deadmau5 is in it.
I find that detrimental. Once we start fucking involving fucking money and fucking revenue, and
power
revenue into it, that's when we have a problem. We're already seeing it, man. This younger generation that's coming out that only knows fucking technology and computers and stuff like that, they don't want to fucking go out and fucking work at a window shop like I do or something like that. They want to be famous YouTubers.
You can straight up buy plots of land in the sandbox.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like the yacht.
They have the
that's
meta,
crazy.
They have the meta home and the fucking I can't remember the other one, the meta world where you can like build your own world and you can build your own house and stuff like that. But until we are fucking able to integrate our entire society into a fucking simulation where fucking manual labor no longer exists, that's going to be a fucking problem. Because now we're going to have a bunch of kids that are fucking only wanting to fucking get on their fucking metaverse shit and fucking so they can earn cryptocurrency and make a whole bunch of money, but we're not going to have people making fucking food for us to eat.
Well, so like how there was a TikTok where it was like a 10-year-old can make $1 million on making NFTs, but you can't go out and make that money. Yeah. No, I'm not smart. I can't do it. Like they're so engulfed in knowing how to do this. Mm-hmm. Like if we grew up in that generation, hell, we probably could be doing it. But even us, we're not even that old, but we're old. And in the reality of the world, we're old.
And it just comes down to really regulation. We need to figure out how to regulate.
Yeah.
Fucking we have this technology that's fucking coming out, but we need to figure out how to make it work.
You gotta regulate crypto before you can regulate the metaverse. Shit.
Have you ever watched WALL-E?
We're not that far off.
No. That's crazy.
That far off now.
That's crazy because they all they saw was a screen in front of them. That's it. And when that screen turned off, they were like, "What the fuck?" Like, because that's all they grew up with was that screen.
So in that movie, like robots basically took care of the physical world in reality. And
and they have robots now that they're coming out with that act and can think and all that stuff just like humans can.
Like Boston
and
Dynamics.
it's crazy. Like it's like that one. I can't remember the name that they named it, but it looks like a girl.
I mean, have you seen like the Metaverse thing where they're like doing? Because one of the things that when I was watching this show earlier, they were trying to figure out how to incorporate like hand gestures and shit. Because you have like your actual home and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like you can fucking drink a coffee or whatever. They're figuring out how to fucking detect like your hand movements and stuff like that. That you can like grip a fucking cup in the metaverse.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and again,
the fact that technology even exists is fucking.
The
the
Neuralink. That's what's gonna engulf that's what's gonna make everything come together. You're gonna have a chip in your brain where you can just maybe we are aliens. You're definitely a fucking alien, bro. You're definitely an alien.
An alien to somebody.
Yeah, you're an alien, bro.
Yeah, God damn it. Nah, fucking, we may be aliens. If you want to get into that a little bit, we can go into it.
Aliens are real, bro. You can't tell me any different.
Well, yeah,
they're there.
Mexico's just on the southern border.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't forget, we have Kentucky right underneath us as well.
You're right. Oh, God. There are some people in Kentucky. I'm like, God, you are not from this planet.
United States of America. My dad's side of the family, they came from Kentucky.
I came from Kentucky and Indiana. Yeah.
I've got some Kentucky in me. If I had a sister, I'd fuck her.
Would you?
Yeah.
That's it. I wouldn't put that past you. Let's be real here.
What? Fucking family? All the time,
Country
dude.
time?
You know me and my cousins just straight banging it out. Like, hey, bro, Jack, let's get in a fight, dude. Let's bang it out.
That one's for you, Jack.
Jack, that one's for you. So is this micro penis.
Jack.
We just derailed so quickly. Right there.
I think the meta. I'm honestly really excited though. Let's be real. I'm really excited for the metaverse because I
am too.
I think we're potentially entering in a new golden age. Mm-hmm. It's really dicey. It's really dicey. But once it is actually solidified and we can actually get some kind of control on it, we're evolving as a species and we're basically evolving with technology at this point. It's as if we can keep up with the pace. Imagine it keeps on bringing me back to like Futurama and shit, man. Like that episode where they went into like this virtual reality. It was that easy. Like they had some sort of shit where they could literally just like
When Fry's fucking with Lucy Liu, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but like, dude, they had the professor basically make them eat a pill or something like that, and like they made like a little nano version of themselves and installed it into the virtual reality. Super wrong, but I'm rolling with it. I think that's awesome, and you can just go in, connect, but it's
cool.
dicey because then you have these companies and shit like. In the show, like Napster, you know, like, hey, you can, you know, spend time with your own
Napster.
celebrity.
That's how
Napster.
That's how old school Futurama is. Napster became like the fucking Facebook of Futurama in old days.
Kid Napster, bro.
It's cool, and it's dope
really
that we'll be able to
dicey.
do it. But again, I'm gonna bring it back to the people that are gonna make it horrible and make it bad are the rich motherfuckers that are just gonna fucking they're gonna corrupt it, and it's gonna suck.
I don't necessarily think that it's going to be the people at the top. I mean, I know that people at the top are going to fucking find a way to fucking make money off of it. But at the end of the day, they don't want something to fucking fall around it. It's the people like the fucking Al-Qaedas and the fucking shit like that who get a hold of it. The fucking underground people who actively try to fucking find wormholes and
I didn't think about that.
And shit like that.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the people who are really detrimental.
Yeah,
we
I didn't
make
think about
sure
that.
that we have the fucking people at the top who fucking know how to fucking handle that shit.
Another thing is you're gonna have to worry about hackers and everything like that, and people trying to steal other people's information. That is probably one of the biggest of my concerns.
Well, hacking right now is horrible.
That's one of the things about the privacy thing that I don't see with it, because they're trying to integrate everything into digitally. Me, fucking growing up in the era that I did, I know better than to fucking have any type of fucking like digital fucking currency and shit like that. Like I do have that, but at the end of the day, like.
You don't rely on
it. I don't rely on it. I try to make sure that like I don't do fucking interactions through fucking PayPal or fucking Venmo and shit like that. Fucking cold hard cash. I have fucking cold hard cash fucking saved up. Fucking it's that rainy day shit. Because at the end of the day, this shit could all fail, and then fucking we're in the apocalypse, and fucking if money's still irrelevant at that time, then I'll have the fucking money.
And you know, like my grandparents, they have like big coffee cans full of money. Just all over.
Yeah, stuffing it in the fucking mattress.
Yeah, and it's because like they have instilled that in me, and I assume that your family, your grandparents, whatever, instilled that in you, that you need that. But in reality, in a few years, it's not far off where that's going to be obsolete.
Cryptocurrency is already starting to
that's going to be obsolete. And the thing about crypto that's crazy is that if you lose that code for like your wallet or what your virtual wallet, you can't get that money.
Yeah,
you can't get into it.
You know, I probably have like a couple $1,000 in a wallet somewhere from when I was just doing some fuck shit on the dark web fucking 10 years ago.
And it's crazy.
Bought some shit with Bitcoin and fucking have a little bit left over, and fucking 10 years later it's fucking went from like $300 to $50,000.
Yeah, and it's insane because that's all just floating around in the whatever the fuck it is. Like
someone could hack your account
and take it all.
They could change your password. Yeah, they can drain your entire crypto wallet.
That's the problem with fucking technology and thinking inward. But you know what? I think we fucking beat the shit out of the fucking metaverse and stuff like that.
There's a lot to get into.
Yeah, it's a big concept.
There's a lot to get into. It's something that we're going to expand upon. It's very new, so fucking talking about it is like,
we're all just speculating.
We'll see what happens and come back to it. Fucking, I just kind of want to know, like at this point, we got a couple minutes left. We're starting to get up to an hour. I just kind of want to know, like, what y'all been fucking watching? What type of media you been taking onto? What y'all been liking recently?
Bro, Bleach's new series got dropped today. They're going. They put
really?
They put the trailer out.
Back away from the mic.
I got really excited.
He's deep throating that shit.
They just dropped the trailer for Bleach's next arc.
They dropped the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah, fucking because that's a good one, because I recently just rewatched the entire Bleach series, and you just started Bleach for the first time.
I literally just started. I'm really slow with it, but I got time. Basically, they said that the next arc drops October of 2022.
Yeah.
So we got time.
October. See, I was told that it was coming out in
today.
No. October of 2021 was when it was supposed to release or some shit. And then that's why I started rewatching Bleach, and then I got done with it and I looked into it and they're like, no, it's going to be June of 2022. Now it's October of 2022.
Yep. That's what the trailer said.
So that's weird, because fucking animes are really fucking notorious for like not having release days or anything like that. They just kind of like release them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, Demon Slayer's new arc is finally out, so
Yeah, even though the first 7 episodes are just the movie.
it's just the movie, but that's cool. They kind of expand on it, what happens behind the scenes while that's going on.
Yeah, I need to get back into some anime because all the fucking big shows and stuff are fucking coming back.
Yeah,
like all the ones
I'm telling you right now, I read through Demon Slayer, and I'll only say this: the Red Light District is going to be fucking sick.
Oh yeah, I know you're really into Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was one of those ones that never really. I mean, it's cool. The art style that they have in the animation is absolutely beautiful. But as for the actual story, it's not quite up to par as some of like the Naruto.
Oh yeah,
fucking.
I can't get into
the
anime,
story
man.
lacks character development. I'll give you that.
I know I could get you an anime. I can't get everyone an anime. I know I could get you an anime, especially with your girlfriend.
See, my girlfriend's tried, and I just
I
don't know.
We're gonna get.
Well, okay, Motherfuckers is good. That was dope. That was a dope show. But I'm talking about
anime, but you're getting
like
close.
the dramatics of anime.
Close.
I just am like I can't get into it.
Now that I think about it, fucking Motherfuckers is not anime at all. That's an American belt. That's a Western fucking animation, and even the fucking animation behind it has nothing relevant towards the fucking Far East.
But if you've never
it does have anime.
Bad example.
If you guys have never watched Motherfuckers, you need to.
I agree with you. It's not an anime, but it does have undertones.
How?
In the let's see, in the action
the art
scenes.
style is nothing close to
Action
it, and
scenes.
it's a very Western fucking storyline to it.
Absolutely, that's okay, but it's just in literally the animation and some of the frames that.
But the animation is not anime. Fucking
the only.
Not.
The only anime
it's very unique. It's very unique style. No, I'm not giving it to you.
All right, we'll agree to I'll agree to disagree.
The only anime I've ever been able to watch is Full Metal Alchemist.
Love it.
And I enjoy Full Metal Alchemist, but
got you, girl.
there are.
Did you watch Brotherhood or just the original?
I don't know. It was something that I would turn on when I was going to sleep. But I like that.
One of these nights when we fucking wind down and shit.
Boku no Pico.
Death Note.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So John Miller has been trying to get me to watch Death Note since it fucking came out,
great.
and I don't know, like.
I'm not even gonna lie. It's not even one of my favorite fucking animes that there is, but it's one of those ones that like it stands up with regular television shows.
Oh yeah.
Just like Hunter x Hunter.
I'll sit down and watch it and I'll give it a try.
I would say Hunter x Hunter, but Hunter x Hunter is fucking. It's kind of shonen. You kind of need to understand the whole shonen thing. But Hunter x Hunter is that show that like. It will stand up with any show, period.
Like Naruto, I can't watch it. Naruto, I'm like, God, this is the stupidest thing I've ever watched. And Attack on Titan, I tried. So my buddy Alex showed me an episode. He was like, you need to watch this. This animation is crazy. And I sat there and watched it. And I was like, it's anime. Like I don't know how to. I don't know how to get into it.
The thing about Attack on Titan. Here's the thing about Attack on Titan. That's one of my favorite fucking shows of all time. Attack on Titan, when it first came out, it fucking flipped the whole fucking, like, shonen on its head. Or not, I don't think it's necessarily shonen, but it was one of those things where, like, there's, like, a horror aspect to it. It's really gritty. There's fucking an actual thing where, like, you fear. Like these are people who are genuinely fucking outclassed in every single way, and then all of a sudden find a little bit of hope. And the fucking first season of it does a really good job of fucking making it like these people are just getting battered. Beaten and fucking bloody fucking shit. It's fucking phenomenal. Then the second and third season come in, and I'm not gonna lie, it starts to fucking go on a downward crease for that, because then they get into a little bit more of the anime, like the dude fucking
the dramatics of it is what pisses me off.
He's able to compete with some of these monsters and stuff like that, and they're fucking learning shit and stuff like that. And it gets a little bit weird. And then the fourth season, which is the final season that fucking comes in, they come out swinging. I'm telling you, when I watched the fucking first half, because there's a part 1 and part 2 of the final season, the fucking part 1 of the final season is some of the best writing that I have ever seen.
Really?
Like it's literally, they do a time skip and it's just like fucking bonkers, all the shit that happens.
Yeah,
my buddy Gibbs,
I just haven't watched it.
My buddy Gibbs down in Tennessee last week, I was like, have you watched Attack on Titan? I was like, have you caught up on the last season? He's like, I watched like 2 or 3 episodes. I was like, you need to finish it. And fucking, actually the day after I left, he fucking hit me up. He was like, yeah, I finished that. He was like, you were right.
Right.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts.
Was it you that reposted on Facebook the art installations that Universal Japan did? Mm-hmm. Those are dope.
Yeah.
But that's tangible. That's real. Like that's real life like art. Like the dramatics of actual anime. Like, and Full Metal Alchemist, where like he's a hothead, and then he starts freaking out, and I'm like, that's stupid. Like, why are you being so dramatic about something dumb?
It's comedic relief.
I know,
that's
like, I can't. That's just not my comedy. Like, I can't
Full Metal Alchemist,
laugh at that.
See,
like,
here's the thing: Full Metal Alchemist has some of like those comical overtones and shit. Attack on Titan's completely different. Attack on Titan is a dark show.
Really?
It is.
It might take
I've watched a few fight scenes of it, and it's cool, but like,
no, sweetie, the fight scenes are not where it's at in fucking Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is the fucking dark overtone.
Did you just call me sweetie?
Yes, I did.
You wanna
Because
fuck?
you said some stupid shit. Kinda, yeah. Shit, it is my birthday party.
I'm sorry, guys.
We're derailing fast as fuck here. So go ahead. What have you been watching on? What you been fucking playing on? What you been doing?
To be honest, man, I just fucking work. I get home and I'm dog tired. Like, I'm just tired, and I like turning on like The Office or like Golden Girls. Love me some Golden Girls. God damn, I love me some Betty White.
You can't go wrong.
Did you know Betty White's about to turn, I think, 100? That's crazy.
That's wild.
She could still get
And when
it.
she dies, I'm
Still get it.
Oh, yeah.
Betty White could get every fucking millimeter of this to feed her, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Fucking millimeter.
Dude, when
She
Betty
got
White
that
dies, though,
Gawk
I'm gonna
9000,
be
bro.
devastated. I love Betty White. But to be honest, if I'm not working, I'm fucking hanging out with fucking this guy. God.
Just being a degenerate.
Or fucking DJing. Like, I spend a lot of my time finding new music, watching YouTube videos on production because I'm trying to produce music.
Yeah.
But goddamn, that's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it, man.
You've recently started breaking into a new form of DJing. I don't know if you're going to stick with it.
I don't know. I tried it out at.
Here's the thing, Bailey. Fucking, when I see you doing your DJ thing and you do well or whatever, but when I'm down in Tennessee and like I see fucking the promoter of the show that you were playing saying, shout out to Redline, she literally had the fucking set of, you had the people in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
That's what he fucking posted.
Yep.
Me and Sam have been telling you this for a while.
Well,
start playing some of the shit you play around.
Well, so the
Play
palm of
what
my
you
hand, the
want
set
to
of the
play.
night, you know what the set of the
Play what you
night
want.
was? Melodic. Dude, I played a whole melodic set. The last set, and it crushed. And I love playing that, but
Bitches were creaming their jeans.
that's what Hunter kept saying. Like that girl that came up to me and was like, Redline. I'm like, hey, my name's Bailey. Calm down.
I'm telling you, fucking, that's the thing though. You start mixing it up a little bit, people fucking hear the shit and they're like, this is something different. And if it's good, then fucking people will resonate with that.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
in a house full of rhythm, man.
They
Like,
fucking
Well,
rhythm in house, baby.
Yeah.
Rhythm in house. Y'all suck. I'm sorry.
I don't-
Y'all set of trash.
when people get used to a certain sound and you hear somebody just completely shake up the game, people are going to turn heads.
What Spilly says is that I play rhythm. I play some rhythm, but I don't play all rhythm. I
Mad
mix it
Frog
up.
is predominantly
No,
rhythm,
I
though,
know
would
Mad
think.
Frog is.
Dude,
But, like-
Bailey, the stuff that you play around us is completely different.
No, I know, but I
And
was
your
told.
sets are usually mostly rhythm.
I was told at that space camp set, a guy walked up to me, no clue who he was, came up and said, "Hey, I've seen you play at Scully's before." He's like, "I'm usually predominantly in Columbus, but I came down for this show." And he goes, "The reason that I like your sets is that you don't just pound people in the face with rhythm." He's like, you take it up, you bring it down, you give people time to rest, then you bring it back up and punch them in the jaw, then you come back down. And I was like, well, that's how I think all DJ sets should be.
Take 'em for
The
a
DJ
fucking
set
ride.
that you
gotta
played
take
at the
them for a
barrel,
ride. That's what I try to do
it's a
every time I
musical
do one of the
journey.
mixtapes and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It is.
it's a journey.
Bring them up, give them a couple long fucking spaces where fucking there's a huge build up and it fucking goes into a banger.
Make
Hell
them
yeah.
cry, make them
Hell
horny,
yeah.
do what you want.
I'm
You
not
know,
trying-
hey.
I'm not
I
sure-
mostly make them cry.
That's
You kind of hesitated for that for a second. Are you sure? You kind of do both to me.
Oh, I know I do one better than the other to you,
I
Sam.
thought I'd let you know. Okay, glad we're on the same
Yeah.
page here.
But well, you just,
Episode 30 of Your House Rules, y'all. Y'all have a fucking great day.
Have a wonderful night. Merry
love
Christmas.
y'all.
Happy holidays.
I wasn't planning on ending it there, but here we are.
that's a hell of a way to